Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, questioning whether you're enough, wondering if the version of yourself you've been showing the world is really who you are or just a mask you've learned to wear? I know that feeling. I know that quiet ache that whispers, what if the real me isn't worthy? And I want you to know that question is the birthplace of every transformation, every breakthrough, every revolution of the soul. Because here's the truth that life has revealed to me over and over again. The most extraordinary power you will ever hold comes not from pretending to be someone you're not, but from standing fully in who you are. The raw, unpolished, perfectly imperfect you, the version of yourself that maybe you've been hiding because the world told you it wasn't good enough, that version is your gold. I want to speak to that part of you today, the part that's been waiting to breathe freely, without apology or permission. Because when you choose to live authentically and believe in yourself, you ignite a force within you that can move mountains. And I am here to remind you of that power, not just so you hear it, but so you start living it. You see, too many of us spend years, sometimes decades, performing. We put on a face, a persona, an act that we think the world wants to see. We become who our parents expected, who society applauded, who our friends accepted. But in the quiet corners of our lives, when the applause fades, we're left with an unsettling question: who am I, really? That question is sacred. It's an invitation to stop performing and start living. But the journey to authenticity is not for the faint of heart. It takes courage, a deep, unwavering courage, to peel back the layers and say, this is me. Take it or leave it, but I will not hide anymore. And why is that so hard? Because we live in a world that rewards conformity. A world that sometimes labels difference as a threat. A world that has taught us to compare, to compete, to conform, but not to embrace. We're praised for fitting in, but rarely celebrated for standing out. But let me tell you something I know with every fiber of my being. Authenticity is not a weakness. It is your strength. It is your liberation. The day you decide to stop shrinking, to stop apologizing for who you are, is the day you reclaim your life. Because when you are authentic, you attract the people, the opportunities, the experiences that are meant for you, not the mask you wear. And here's the beautiful thing about authenticity: it's contagious. When you dare to show up as yourself, fully and unapologetically, you give others permission to do the same. You become a living, breathing invitation for others to say, if they can be real, maybe I can too. You create ripples of courage in a world that desperately needs more truth. But authenticity alone is not enough, because even when you know who you are, the world will test you. Life will hand you moments that make you question your worth, your path, your very existence. That's where self-belief comes in. Self-belief is the bridge between knowing who you are and having the strength to stand firm when the storms come. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's not pretending you have it all together. It's not faking confidence or plastering a smile when you're crumbling inside. No, self-belief is quieter, deeper, more resilient than that. It's the voice inside that says, I may not have all the answers, but I am worthy of figuring it out. I may not feel ready, but I will show up anyway. I may be afraid, but I will not let fear decide my fate. And let me tell you something important. Self-belief is not something you're born with, it's something you build. It's a muscle that gets stronger every time you choose to back yourself, every time you say yes to a challenge, every time you refuse to give up, even when the odds are stacked against you, every time you whisper to yourself, I can do this, even when no one else believes it. I want you to think about every person who has ever made a mark on history, every person whose name we remember. They didn't get there by pretending to be someone else. They didn't rise because they fit neatly into society's expectations. They rose because they dared to be different. They stood firm in who they were, and they believed even when no one else did. That's the magic formula: authenticity plus self-belief. When you have both, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that can keep you from becoming who you're meant to be. But here's the truth no one tells you: sometimes believing in yourself feels like standing alone in a crowded room. Sometimes it feels like carrying a torch in the dark with no one around to cheer you on. But if you can keep that torch burning even when the winds of doubt try to extinguish it, you'll find your way. You'll discover that the light you carry was never meant to be validated by others. It was meant to guide you forward. I've been there. I've stood in moments where the world said, "You can't," where the noise of critics threatened to drown out my own voice. But every single time I came back to this truth: I am worthy. I am capable. I am enough, and so are you. I need you to understand this. No one else can define your worth. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends, not the society you live in. Your worth is inherent. It's non-negotiable, and when you own that, when you live from that place, you become unstoppable. Now, I'm not saying the journey will be easy. You will face setbacks. You will have moments of doubt. There will be days when you want to quit, when the voice in your head gets loud and ugly, telling you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough. But those moments are not the truth. They are the noise, and your job, your sacred responsibility, is to listen deeper, to find that still, small voice inside that says, "Keep going." Because here's what I know for sure: the world doesn't need another copy of someone else. The world needs you, the real you, the messy, brilliant, complicated, beautiful you. And when you bring that version of yourself to the table, when you stop trying to fit in and start standing out, the world changes. Your world changes, and I want you to hear me clearly on this. You don't have to wait for permission to be yourself. You don't have to wait for the stars to align or for someone to give you the green light. The time is now. The power is already inside you. You just have to claim it. Every step you take in authenticity strengthens your foundation. Every decision you make based on self-belief fortifies your spirit. And brick by brick, choice by choice, you build a life that feels not just successful but meaningful, a life that feels like home. I want you to envision that life for yourself. A life where you wake up knowing you are enough, without the masks, without the pretending. A life where you chase dreams not because they're safe, but because they set your soul on fire. A life where your presence gives others the courage to do the same. Because in the end, that is the legacy we leave, not the roles we played, not the masks we wore, but the lives we touched by daring to be real, by daring to believe in ourselves, even when the world said we shouldn't. So tonight, when you find yourself staring at that ceiling, questioning your worth, I want you to remember this: you are not here by accident. You are not unworthy. You are not invisible. You are here because the world needs what only you can give. And the greatest act of courage you will ever take is to show up fully as yourself and to believe deeply that you belong. That is the power of authenticity. That is the power of self-belief, and it is already yours. Let me leave you with this. If there is one thing I want you to take with you today, it is this: you are already enough. Not the version of you that's more polished, more successful, more liked, but the version of you right here, right now. There is a power inside you that is waiting desperately to be unleashed. And that power is rooted in your truth, in your authenticity, in your unwavering belief that you are worthy, simply because you exist. Life will keep testing you. The world may continue to tell you to sit down, play small, stay quiet, but I want you to rise. I want you to stand. I want you to take up space unapologetically, boldly as only you can. Because when you show up as yourself fully, freely, courageously, you don't just change your own life. You light the way for others to do the same. You become a beacon, a reminder that authenticity is not just possible, it's necessary. And don't let fear fool you. Fear will tell you that you're not ready, that you'll fail, that people won't accept the real you. But fear is just noise. Self-belief is the answer. When you choose to believe in yourself, even with trembling hands and an uncertain heart, you prove that the strongest power comes from within. You show the world that you don't need validation to shine. You shine because that is who you are. So make this promise to yourself today. I will no longer betray who I am to fit into spaces that were never meant for me. I will honor my truth. I will trust my journey. I will believe that I am capable, worthy, and destined for greatness, not because the world says so, but because I believe it, because the most powerful, unshakable, unstoppable version of you is not the one that hides. It is the one that stands authentic and brave, with self, belief burning like a flame no one can put out.